Isn't that
You
part of
know,
the human experience to
yeah,
explore these things? What's happening on our planet? What is going on? And then another thing I like to point out
yeah,
is that, technology changes all of our belief systems like that. The
sure,
earth was flat for a long time. Then we had a telescope and we said, okay, the earth is round. Then, our galaxy was the whole entirety of the universe till right out here at Mount Wilson 100 years ago, put up a new telescope that saw beyond that, and suddenly we're one little galaxy within millions of galaxies, just
yeah.
because we got that technology. So maybe somebody will come up with a technology that we can communicate or see these beings, and then that'll be just old hat.
That's a
So
great point.
I think these things could happen. I think it's disingenuous to just dismiss them out of hand without hearing, digging it, digging
Yeah,
into it further.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, no, without question. Yeah, I'm sort of past that exit ramp. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I'm on the highway of let's find out what's going on here, and uh, I'm in for the adventure. I'm in for whatever is revealed. To be honest, it is what it is.
It's fun
There's
to
no way around it.
speculate too. I have a good time speculating on what else it could be. I
Absolutely,
love hearing new
absolutely.
ideas. Well, that's a good way
Yeah,
to look at it. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they're not revealing. That's a good perspective too. It's all very
sure,
fun, and I feel an important part of the human experience. And I don't know how people can't be interested in this. I mean, I just find it
sure,
compelling. Don't you just naturally wonder what else is out there? I mean, that's just like a
sure.
hardwired in me. I feel like we would all feel that to a degree,
I
going
think
back
most people
thousands of years.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think most people do. It's just a matter of what's happening in their lives and how much mental space can they dedicate to it if they're working two jobs and taking care of kids and just, whatever. It's just
I get that
some people
100.
just get lost in life, but genuinely, if you sat them down and asked them, they'd be like, no, I am curious about, what's outside of this little globe or what's outside of what I know to be reality.
This is
So,
a really
yeah,
good point. How many times has this happened to you? I have had this happen so many times to me. When I'll explain to people what I do or whatever, somebody I don't know, I'll tell them what I do. And then they'll be like, oh, yeah, I'm not interested in that. That's nothing.
yeah,
I swear to you, they do that Columbo thing where they go, there's this one time, my dad and I were fishing. It was late at night, and it's amazing how often people do have a firsthand experience of something anomalous, but they just kind of dismissed it or forgot about it, and then it pops back in. I find that pretty interesting too. I mean, we have all these incredible UFO reports, and yet, as you know, when you ask that to a crowd of people, anybody see a UFO, and all the hands go up. Anybody report it? One guy.
yeah.
So it's much more prolific than we realize. So that just tells me something's happening.
No, that's a great point, and that happens all the time to me, in fact, especially when you get people alone. They
Yep.
immediately, I've heard a story or I knew a guy, I worked with a guy who told me one time, or I saw it myself or something. They just had nowhere to categorize it in their
Right.
life, right? So it went went back in the back, right? And in the trunk. But eventually, yeah, you get someone alone, everyone's got a story. They've heard something, they're somehow interested, and it is quite amazing. For sure. No, you're right. The interest is through the roof. I really feel that, and I feel it's growing more and more. And as much as people shit on like Hollywood movies or TV shows or documentaries coming out, I think that actually does help spread the idea of being open to just looking into this and being curious about it, and it be like okay to discuss, right? Like all of a sudden at South by in Austin, people are talking about UAP and NHI, like these things that aren't going to be talked about on red carpet premieres otherwise. But now there's an air of validity where it's like it's okay to talk about. I can ask this question and not, feel stupid, right? Like it's
I
very
agree
interesting,
100%. I think it's
you
awesome
know.
that it's more out there and it's more socially acceptable to just talk about this. And it's
Yeah,
great.